What's going on, DC fans? Brock back with another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DC Collectibles DC Supervillains of the New 52 figure line. Today is the New 52 rendition of Deathstroke. So DC Comics Supervillains Deathstroke. I've always been a fan of Deathstroke, but I didn't really become that big a fan until after really getting into know his character and such. And after playing Arkham Origins, I absolutely love the character. Now this figure is sculpted based on his New 52 appearance, and comparing it to his original, it is a huge change. If you guys have played Injustice: Gods Among Us, great game. His design in that game is actually based on his New 52 appearance. They now went with more of an armored look as opposed to the more costume kind of look in the beginning. But here is the DC Comics Supervillains Deathstroke by DC Collectibles. Package showcases the figure in the front here with his accessories, of course, and then you got the DC logo, kind of like that peel effect coming on over here. You got the bullet holes showcasing, kind of showing, Deathstroke with his gun. And then you got a shot of the figure here on the side. And then you got a nice silhouette of the Deathstroke character, of course. On the back here, you got a read-up, and then the other figures in the wave. We've got Black Manta and Black Adam, figures that I'm also interested in picking up. And then they're showcasing the figure here with Green Arrow. Got a read-up on Deathstroke here. And as well as credit to the sculptor, Jean St. Jean, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And if I am, it's you, Jean-Paul Valley. Jean-Paul Valley. Oh, this is really cool packaging. They've done the same thing with the Justice League members. But now, since it's the supervillains, we kind of get this, new design box. And it actually, I guess it characterizes the, the different villains you get. With the coloring and the design of the box and such, which I think is a really neat touch. Unfortunately, there is no Catwoman in this wave because she's not so much a villain in New 52, which is pretty cool. She's more of an anti-hero, kind of more of a hero leaning towards. She's not bad, she does good things, but she steals. And I really wish we were getting a figure for her, but we're going to have to wait till we get that multi-pack with the villains and heroes, and she's like the exclusive figure there. But anyway, no more wasting time. Deathstroke, come out of the package. Alright, before we go over Slade, he comes with 3. Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? There we go. 3 accessories. Accessory uno is his combat knife, which for a smaller accessory is sculpted very well and has very nice paint apps. Accessory number 2 is his pistol, which again is just a solid black, but the sculpting on the pistol is very nice. Very, very nice indeed. And accessory number 3 is his broadsword, which is my personal favorite of his weapons in this new set. It's sculpted really, really well. The choice of silver is nice. It's got a long hilt. Very, very sick. On the back here on Deathstroke, you got this little peg. And what you can do is you take his sword, which has a little peg hole there, shaped just like the peg itself, and then you just clip that onto his back, and voila! It stays right on Deathstroke's back, and it looks pretty cool. The pistol clamps right into the holster here. Put it in, and it stays in pretty nicely. And that goes in, as you see here. It will fiddle around, and it will eventually come out if you move the leg around too much. But it stays nice enough where you can display him with it, which is pretty cool. And he does have a sheath for his knife as well. And that kind of slips in through here. You have to lift his leg up forward a little bit to just get that in. And it's not going anywhere. And that just stays in place as well. And there you go. You have Deathstroke with his weapons. Now, as far as the DC Supervillains New 52 figures go, this guy is by far my favorite. I love this design for Deathstroke. I think it works really well for New 52. The armored look is perfect. He's got a cool chainmail. He's got these shoulder pads here. He's kind of got Batman gauntlets going on there, which I think is a nice touch. And then he's got, I mean, I don't really get it, but he's got spikes on his boots, which is pretty cool. But now, there's only one thing I don't like about this figure. Just one. Everything else I simply adore. And that is weak ankles. These may not look very loose, and they certainly don't seem loose on this guy, but, and you know, I could be wrong, this could be just my figure in particular, but he doesn't really stand all that well. I find myself using stands from other figures that can, on their own without it, that I'm using for him. However, I can't bitch too much because the paint apps are, oh, well, the paint apps and the sculpt is just phenomenal. A coppery orange for the armor here, as well as the one half of his mask. His face is really, really good. That is really sick. The sculpting's nice. There is no bleeding of the paint. It's just really, really well done. Nice wash of blues and grays in the chainmail, which works. I actually do like that a lot. The belt is soft, rubbery plastic. So it's not sculpted piece where you have to worry about him being hindered at all. It is all loose and flimsy, so which is really cool. So you don't have to worry about it, you know, getting in the way of his articulation. Or, you know, they could have put it in a waist joint since it's made like that. But no big deal. That's something not surprising with DC Collectibles. In your articulation department, his head is on this stiff ball joint, but you can get it moving all the way around, side to side. Doesn't really get hindered by his metal collar here, which is fine and dandy. Arms are very similar to Ra's al Ghul's from the Arkham City line. These shoulder pads can go up, so you don't, you know, get hindrance of the arms moving, but they can fully rotate. They got rotation in the bicep here. He's got a bend in the elbow. He's got a rotation in his wrist, as well as his hands individually. Actually, no. Oh, you know what? That's all one solid piece. I thought it was individual, but yeah, I guess this is all his wrist here anyway. So this does rotate. Scratch that. Like I said, nothing in the waist or the abs. The legs go forward, they go back, they bend at the knee, and then the feet can pivot up and down. But like I said, these ankles are kind of weak, so he can't really stand perfectly. You kind of have to position his feet a little bit to get him to stand. I've been able to do it fine on my own, but for the most part, I'm going to just take that off before it falls. But for the most part, he stands rather well. Now, Deathstroke here is available in comic stores now, and he's pretty sought after. He's a little hard to find, but you can get him online if worst case scenario. Gonna bring you about $25, which isn't bad considering this is a great figure. Definitely worth a pickup if you are collecting the New 52 figures as of thus far, the Justice League or, you know, any of the villains. He's definitely not one you want to skip out on. I highly recommend him. He's a great Kickstarter for this collection if he's your first Deathstroke figure, like he is for me. Really cool. Really, really cool figure. I really think anybody who's a fan of Deathstroke should have him. So definitely check him out, guys. Today I was taking a look at the DC Collectibles, DC Supervillains, the New 52 action figure set. And I was looking at Deathstroke in his New 52 design. Really cool figure, guys. Check him out. And please be sure to like my video, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And till next time, guys, this is Brock. Over and out. Oh, and by the way, this guy's a 9.